I'm Dr. Devonte Horn, and this is my industry problem. One of the things I really struggled with growing up was figuring out my place and understanding where I fit in. I didn't really know what opportunities were available for students like me.
Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Poon. I'm the co-founder of Mentor, and what we do is we build standards-aligned, problem-based learning experiences. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the first couple of minutes here talking about what Mentor is and what we do, and then I will go ahead and turn it over to the students so they can show you what they've been working on. So there are two fundamental reasons behind why Mentor exists. The first is as a testing company to enable students to meet and exceed traditional testing standards. And a critical element of this is providing a learning experience that is both incredibly supportive, but also delivers that support instantaneously and with more attention to student needs than even the current state of the art. And so the second fundamental reason behind Mentor is to provide students with career defining competitive advantages that help them stand out when they apply to college and to jobs. This will become critically important as we move closer to workplaces that are largely dominated by automation and heavy application of artificial intelligence. The objective here is to have students exit with transferable skills that will help them succeed and stand out when performing these jobs. So the key to do this is to provide instant feedback and to relate the course material to things that students are interested in. We actually have some of the best AP Calculus teachers in the country on this call. Thank you for coming. And I'm sure that they have experienced this as well. When you provide immediate feedback to students and when you relate the course material to things that the students are interested in, students become more engaged, they tend to try harder, and ultimately perform better. It's very important to notice that this is not anecdotal either. The effect on providing fast feedback and relating course material to things students care about, this has a well documented effect on student performance. And so, if the basic principle is to increase student performance by providing fast feedback and relevant course material, then our objective is to provide the fastest feedback and the most opportunities for students to engage with what they're learning. There are three critical components to developing a learning experience like this. And so the first is a multi-level AI tutor that automatically looks up walkthroughs and goes layers deeper than that even to provide almost walkthroughs of the walkthroughs. This is something that some of the most experienced teachers do, where due to their experience, they are able to predict and oftentimes anticipate what questions students are going to ask before the students ask the questions. What we can do with AI is rather than relying only on a single teacher's experience, we can actually deliver feedback based on the experience of hundreds of thousands of students and teachers to best identify not only where students are struggling, but identify the best way and the clearest way of getting them past some of these hurdles. The second fundamental component here is industry problems. These are embedded into the course to teach students not only how to use industry grade tools, but also help them relate what they're learning to problems that resonate with them. A critical component of this is giving them role models whom they can look up to. This last part is very important for fostering a growth mindset. It's really important that we not only give students the ability to address and solve some of these industry problems, but that they see people who look like them, people who speak like them, people who talk and do things like them, so that they can essentially see themselves solving these industry problems in the real world. And so that's what we do by embedding documentaries of these people's lives directly into the course to highlight not only the technical industry problem, but the very human side of inspiring people to see themselves solving these problems. And so what we do is we take these three elements, AI, industry problems, and role models, and then we take something like the AP Calculus curriculum and embed these three elements directly into each chapter of AP Calculus. The result of this is Demo Day. Demo Day is an event where the students pick up where the industry problems left off. So each of these pictures represents a problem that the students have solved. And what they've done for Demo Day is they've taken these industry problems one step further and developed applications that are more relevant, more actionable, and ultimately resonate with them more. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our first group. After the presentation, we'll open the floor for about 4 minutes to questions, and then we will proceed. So when we open up for questions, if you could take your questions and enter them into the chat box here or enter them into your feedback form, that would be great. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So with that, here's our first presentation.
Okay, so what our group is doing is measuring hip and knee velocity when doing a squat. The problem is that in a lot of jobs such as FedEx and Amazon, there are a lot of different maneuvers that workers are required to do that can cause damage. A lot of workers have jobs that require strenuous labor. One solution is developing an exoskeleton to reduce the strain on the body. They are proven to let people complete difficult tasks, move around easier, or even help paralyzed people walk. A critical component to consider when doing this is how quickly a person's joint is moving when doing a squat.
When finding how quickly a joint is moving, there are 6 main steps. The first is taking a video for reference. The second is taking that video and plugging it into a tracking software. From there, we take the information from the tracking software and put it into a spreadsheet. Then we can begin calculations to figure out the angle at each of the joints. Then from there, we find the change in angle or the angular velocity. And then from there, we find the maximum velocity, and that tells us what kind of motor we need. I did this for the hip joint. The first step I did was taking the video and putting it into a tracking software. You can see all of the various points on my body being tracked by the computer here. Afterwards, I took the information which the computer gave me as X and Y coordinates and put it into a spreadsheet. From there, I found the angle using the aforementioned trigonometric functions. And then after that, I found the derivative of the angle function, which gave us the change in angle. And then I found that the maximum rotational velocity for the hip joint was 250 degrees per second.
The other main joint is the knee. I took a video and tracked the points using a point tracking software shown here. Furthermore, I took the data into a spreadsheet where I found the max and minimum angular velocity, angle, and torque of the points. I found the maximum angular velocity was 88 degrees per second, and the minimum was negative 77 degrees. Knee torque. When taking the torque of a knee, you need to take the length and radius of your knee and model it as a cylinder. Then after calculating the mass of the knee, you can use, in addition to the formula that you have for the angular velocity at any point, you can use the formula shown here to find the torque at time t to determine the best motor for the job. My name is Drew Martin. I live in Allegan, Michigan, and Allegan is a small town, and I've always lived a rural community type of life, but I never lost my fascination with technology and societal advancement. So now I was given the opportunity to show my talents and hard work at this great program. I immediately signed up. I love math and strive to grow and expand my knowledge of the world and the rules and ideas that guide it.
My name is Bryson Kawasaki. I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. I love to exercise, work out, and do track.
My name is Elijah Cook. I live in Westminster, Colorado, and I love jiu-jitsu, math, and tinkering.
Thanks for listening to our presentation.
Okay, guys. So the next presentation is from Mateo Garcia Grau. And so without further ado, here's Mateo presenting on gender diversity.
How to retain women in science and engineering jobs. My name is Mateo Garcia Grau. I'm 17 from Boulder, Colorado, and I want to go into the food industry or the sports sciences. Now, the problem. Women are not represented in S&E jobs. Only about a quarter of S&E workers are female. Starting in 1993, the percentage of women in S&E occupations has only increased 5%. A reason for why women aren't represented in S&E jobs is that men are the majority. This creates an environment that can make women feel undermined and uncomfortable. If we want to increase the percentage of women in this field, we need to change the recruitment process. Now, how we got to the problem. I noticed that by the year 2020, the percentage of women in S&E jobs plateau at 29%. I figured this out using a limit function. First, I calculated the percentage of women in S&E jobs per year, then I used the percentages as P of t to be in the year. Once that is all set up, you can see that when t approaches the year 2020, the percentage of women in S&E jobs approaches 29% and levels off. Now, the solution. First, there is a phone interview. To help women in this interview and to get rid of bias, I believe that the interview should be conducted by a machine that only asks the questions and the interviewee answers them. The only thing that the employers need to do is listen to the responses that the candidates have. This minimizes the risk for bias in the questioning process. Now, if the interviewee would like to talk with a person instead of a machine, they will be assigned with a female or male, depending on their gender, interviewer. This would give an environment where the interviewee is most comfortable. Now, second, there's an on-site interview. There should be 2 interviewers asking questions, one male and one female. This would allow the interviewee to feel welcome with both people. This would also help with making a decision since there are 2 points of view on the person and their capabilities. Now, after the interview, if the interviewee wants to check out the office and those in it, the interviewers will show the said person around and will allow the interviewee to talk with those she/he would be working with. Now, lastly, there's a final interview. The interview should be held with the head of the department or one of the executives of the company, where they would be leading the interview. On this step, the employer should know enough to hire the person for who they are and their capabilities. Now, a summary. This solution shows a way of minimizing bias by providing options for women to support each other during the recruitment process. The next step would be to build this into a set of articles or videos that would be sent to YouTube or LinkedIn. Thank you, and here are my sources.
Okay, so we have one more presentation here by Lakita, Tamia, and Rahul, and they're going to be talking about modeling the spread of COVID-19.
Hi everyone, my name is Lakita and I'm 15 years old. I'm from Nashua, New Hampshire, and I'm a rising sophomore at Nashua High School South. I have a future dream to become a cardiothoracic surgeon, and I'm super excited to take this course on Myntor.
Hi, my name is Tamia and I am 16 years old. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm a rising senior at Cristo Rey Boston High School. My dream is to pursue a career in anesthesiology.
Hi, my name is Bobby and I'm from Boston. I'm from London, UK. I'm from here.
The current pandemic, COVID-19, is affecting all of our daily lives, those infected and those not. For those infected at home, it is a new life of isolation and a struggle to remain healthy. Even those who have been fortunate as to not catch the virus live drastically different lives.
We are unaware of when we will start to see a decrease of COVID-19 cases. More effective ways that we engage in that virus. And the question is, when will the number of the population?
Our solution to this problem is the following. We calculated the total cases in various regions, that being New Hampshire, London, and Boston. We then created a graph of the total cases. Using that, we constructed a trend line. Using the equation of the trend line, we found the derivative to measure its rate of change. We then set that equal to our desired number and solved for t.
Let's start off with my home state, New Hampshire. It is a small state and it has a total of 1.36 million people. As of July 13th, there are 6,054 cases, which is surprisingly low compared to the cases in London or Boston. The highest spike of cases was recorded on May 1st with 164 cases. The average daily cases is 48. Based on the publicly available data sources, we developed a simple mathematical modeling approach to track the outbreaks of COVID-19 in our 3 selected areas. Ever since COVID-19 was first detected in New Hampshire, there was a continuous increase of cases. The number of healthy people becoming infected continued to increase at a rate modeled by the logarithmic function shown on the slide. X represents time by days number starting on June 10th. Next, I took the derivative of this function, as you see with the equation on the slide, and then set it equal to 10, so I can find when the coronavirus cases will decrease to 10 per day. Therefore, it will take approximately 44 days for New Hampshire to see a decrease to 10 cases per day.
Hello again, my name is Tamia and these are the COVID statistics for Boston, Massachusetts. The following graph represents my city's confirmed cases from June 10th to July 10th of 2020. We currently have over 20,000 confirmed cases. The main question is, when will cases drop to 30 each day? This is how I solved it. I used the equation of the trend line to find its derivative, and I set it equal to 30. From there, I found the variable, and it gave me 133. So in 133 days, the COVID-19 cases in Boston will drop to about 30 each day.
Hi again, my name is Dustin. I just have the COVID-19 case in London. Model the COVID-19 case and maybe got activity and such variants of SSS only if I did it in about 55 days. You will take
So, to conclude, New Hampshire will come back to normal in 41 days, or 1.3 months, where there will be less than 10 cases per day. Boston Society will come back to life in 133 days, or 4.4 months, where there will be less than 30 cases per day. London Society will come back to life in 55 days, or in about 2 months, where there will be less than 30 cases per day. Different variables will help bring back normalcy faster, like finding vaccines or better treatment. But that's not where we stopped. I created a website to spread awareness and share knowledge. I will paste the link in the chat below. Please visit and share my website with others. I'll really appreciate it. There is so much information you can find regarding COVID-19 on my blog, where the articles describe the mathematical procedure into much detail. I really hope you find my website helpful. We also have a weekly newsletter with coronavirus latest and crucial updates. So please subscribe by entering your email and join others on a journey of knowledge and awareness. I hope our work can stimulate more effort in understanding how an outbreak is developing and how big a scope it can be, and in what kind of time framework. Stay home, stay safe, save lives. Thank you all for your time.
Great. Thanks, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over a brief overview and offer a quick preview of what you guys can expect for the August 2020 cohort. So the first thing is an accelerated AP Calculus AB curriculum. This is a curriculum that we've developed with one of the most celebrated AP Calculus teachers in the country. And what it will allow students to do is access live sessions, videos, and homeworks all on the same portal in a curriculum that they can access every single day over here on the left-hand side. And as always, Bumblebee will return to provide 24/7 instantaneous support, and he'll be able to provide walkthroughs that are similar to the homework problems that the students are doing, but also provide explanations on how to do those walkthroughs based on where other students have had difficulty in the past. And thirdly, we'll have 50% more industry problems for students to engage in. And these will be topics spanning ultrasonic tissue regeneration, autonomous vehicles, architecture, nanotechnology and drug delivery, even the biomechanical effects of spaceflight, which will become increasingly more relevant as spaceflight becomes more commercially available. And lastly, our high school entrepreneurship track. So to take full advantage of all of these industry problems that are coming in August 2020, we've developed a new high school entrepreneurship track, which will take these industry problems and, if the students would like, will guide them through developing not only technical solutions, but commercially viable solutions for how to extend their work beyond the walls or beyond the screen, in this case, of the classroom. For those parents who may be wondering how students perform after going through the program, what we've seen is we're able to reduce the time it takes to resolve a question by 70 to 80%. And this only gets better as Bumblebee gets more advanced. We've seen this result in roughly a 41% increase over 4 days in free response question scores. And so enrollment for the August 2020 cohort is open. You can go to www.mentor.io. And if you come up here to the AP Calculus button at the top of the screen, you can click there and that will take you to the enrollment page. There's also more course information there as well. And with that, thank you very much for coming. We sincerely appreciate you guys coming, and thank you so much for supporting our students, and please don't forget to give them some feedback on your way out. But that's all for me. I'll stick around for about 15 to 20 minutes afterwards to answer a couple of questions, and thank you very much.